And hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I seen a video and I've not been able to get it out of my head. I've been doing some investigating into it, and there's a lot of course, outrage on X. In this day and age, you see a lot of videos on X, and you kind of get numb to the stuff that you see in this generation, unfortunately. But this video that I've seen of Irina Zarutska getting fatally stabbed at random by a man on the subway has shocked me. It's been in my head all day, and it's really, really sad. It's absolutely disgusting. It's also very shocking. But the media's response to this story has almost been non-existent. Despite the same media channels, and we're talking about the United States and of course the UK, but worldwide, around Daniel Penny was everywhere, and George Floyd, absolutely everywhere. It was shoved down our throats, and it was going on for months and months and months. There was protests and continuous garbage thrown down our throats. Of course, sports in our country was affected by the whole thing with regard to George Floyd. But when the roles are reversed, and it's a white girl being stabbed by a black man at random, then there is no media outrage. There is no outrage whatsoever. It's truly shocking. And today we're going to be watching this video. We need to show you it for context. As I said, the media are suppressing this story. This happened on the 22nd of August. However, the American media only just found out, or tried to only release it now, the CCTV footage of the incident. They tried to suppress it in the United States. And of course, a lot of mainstream media channels over there are not showing this. There is no public outrage, except from, of course, on X, which we'll get to momentarily. But there is a huge, huge problem. It's absolutely disgusting. But let's not waste any time. Let's get into this video. As stated, here's a list before we get in of American networks that are not covered the Charlotte, North Carolina story. You can see New York Times, CNN, Washington Post, MSNBC, NPR, USA Today, Reuters, Axios, ABC News, PBS, and as stated, every single one of them wrote stories on Daniel Penny. And the question there is, do you get it? Let's have a watch of this video. As I said, viewers' discretion must be advised. It's not been able to get out of my head all day.
It's 9:46 p.m. You'll notice right away, this looks like any other ride aboard the light rail. People are doing what they do these days, keeping to themselves, scrolling on their phones as they ride along. The man accused in the killing, DeCarlos Brown, is in the red hoodies on the right side of your screen. He appears to be maybe a little emotional, perhaps a little agitated, but nothing disruptive. There's nothing that gets anyone's attention. About 30 seconds later, Irina Zarutska boards. She's wearing a hat and a t-shirt from a pizzeria, and she sits in the row in front of Brown. She has earbuds in and is looking at her phone. She too's just minding her own business. They ride along for around 4 minutes with nothing unusual happening. Then around 9:50 p.m., Brown reaches into a pocket. We've zoomed in on it here. He pulls out a pocket knife. No one notices a thing. Seconds later, he would stand up, and from behind, unprovoked, as we stop the video, he would stab the young woman several times. She had no chance to defend herself. The attack was over in seconds, and when it was over, Brown walked through the train attempting to get off. Few passengers, if any, at first realized what had happened, until they noticed drops of blood on the floor. 90 seconds after the attack, a bystander rushes down to begin lending aid to Zarutska. She would die from her injuries. 30 seconds later, 9:52 p.m., 6 minutes into the video, Brown leaves the light rail.
The video here shows us just how quickly things happened and how difficult it would have been to prevent once he got on the train. And that is an important part to all of this. From what we've been told, Brown never should have been on the train. Authorities tell WBTV he did not buy a ticket. CAT says it is working on ways to keep fare skippers off mass transit.
God bless Irina Zarutska. So sad to see. Really sad to see. We're going to get into some reaction, guys. I'm going to be going over on X. Basically, there is talk about the mayor in Charlotte, of course, trying to sort of bury this story, to try and stop public tensions, community tensions, and all of those kind of things. I just want to show you the reaction of Andrew Tate. He sums it up very, very well, and then we'll go over to X and have a look at everything after that.
It's not often I want to criticize the American government because I am American. And although it's easy to look at the Chinese military parade or Russia's success despite the entire world turning on them and feeling like they're better than us or their governments are run better than ours are because they don't have all these silly women and bullshit DEI and retarded judges stopping our president from doing what he needs to do and all this garbage that we have to endlessly tolerate. Despite that, they have their own domestic issues I don't quite understand as I'm not Russian or Chinese. However, this is my message to the American government, and please, I state this with absolute respect. And I like to think that everybody who watches this video feels the same. Please write below if you feel the same as me. I don't like the hypocrisy of us acting like the world's biggest fucking badasses and tough guys when it comes to foreigners, and then inside of our own countries, domestically, allowing native people or people who are law-abiding to be completely abused and murdered. I don't like that we're going to blow up a random speedboat in the name of stopping drugs. Did they have drugs on the boat? I don't know. Does anyone really know? I don't know. Is military intelligence even real? I'm not sure. But we're going to blow up a fucking boat and kill 7 or 8 people, whether they were innocent or guilty. We're just going to blow them to smithereens. And when anyone says anything about it, our answer is, fuck you, America. I can get on board with that. But I can't get on board with that if we're going to have fucking animals walking around on our streets, harassing our good American people. And then when we talk about dealing with these animals the same fucking way, we start saying, their rights need to be respected. They need to go to jail. They need a lawyer. We need to get a non-profit NGO to defend him in court. Mental health. Wait. I thought it was fuck you, America. I thought if you were fucking with American citizens, you paid the ultimate price. It turns out if you're brown and you're from another country and you get on the wrong speedboat, you can get blown to fucking smithereens just at random. If you're in Baghdad, shock and awe might kill 3 million of your people and murder your whole family. We'll do all that shit to everyone else. But when these people are inside of America hurting Americans, there's no more fuck you, America? Then it's all rights, civil rights, human rights. Listen, we're either human rights pussies or we're not. I'm not even saying which direction to fucking take. I'm saying let's drop the hypocrisy here. If we're human rights pussies, stop blowing up everyone all around the world at random. And if we are the guys who blow up anyone who fucks with America, deal with these fucking scumbags like that piece of shit who just murdered an innocent woman on a bus. Let's get our fucking shit straight. And I think everyone who watches this, please agree with me, would rather see our own cities and rather see the people inside of America who are doing the wrong thing blown to fucking pieces than random people on the other side of the world who we've never interacted with and probably have never even been to our country.
Now, Arena has been failed by many. Of course, a 23-year-old refugee who came legally, of course, probably a pillar to the community in terms of Ukrainian, and of course was fatally stabbed by a convict who had been to prison 14 times and had not paid for his railway ticket. And again, the people of America, the media of America, are trying to suppress this story. They really are, and we're not really seeing too much apart from the sort of Telegraph, who are deemed more sort of right of politics, actually choose to show this story, which is absolutely horrific because we had George Floyd shoved down our throats for years, absolute years, with regard to him. Now, I want to go over to X. There's a lot of reaction. We're going to go over to see what the Charlotte mayor was saying as well, by the way, commending and saying it was a good thing that the media chose not to show this, show the CCTV footage of this story and trying to suppress the story to try and aid and help community tensions. Let's get over to X. Oh, wow, that was me a bit earlier on. I need to get right with this stuff. I need to get better at this. Let's get my screen capture. But guys, do let me know your thoughts down here in the comment section below. Is this the first time you've heard of this story? Because I didn't hear about it for a little while. And thank God for X, by the way, guys. Again, it's independent media that's, again, coming out on X, people sharing what they see on X and actually being able to see these stories pop up. Without it, I would have not heard about this one, which is absolutely shocking. So let's get over to some of this reaction. As I said, there's quite a bit to get through. And here you see is Andre Williams says, and black people wonder why people don't like us being around us. 23-year-old Ukrainian refugee Irina Zarutska was fatally stabbed in an unprovoked attack by 34-year-old Declaris Brown Jr. on a Charlotte Lynx Blue Line train. This needs to wake everybody up, especially black people, and how we are. Here you go. This is this other bit here. The mayor of Charlotte is criticizing anyone who shares the video of the black man brutally stabbing a white woman in her city and says she's thinking about safety in Charlotte. I want to thank our media partners and community members who have not chosen to repost or share the footage. I've been thinking hard about what safety really looks like in our city. I remain committed to doing all we can to protect our residents and ensure Charlotte is a place where everyone feels safe. Now, I'm from the UK, and as I say, my main interest, of course, is on the United Kingdom. But we have these same sorts of liberal people. Yes, of course, Donald Trump is in power, and look, I'm sure, hopefully, he gets it right and gets this sort of cleaned up. He did put a US War State Department in reaction to this video, so we're probably going to be seeing something happen very, very quickly domestically in the United States. But my goodness me, for the two situations, whether that was with regard to sort of Daniel Penny and George Floyd, the whole George Floyd situation, that was non-stop. I'd seen it for weeks, months, in George Floyd's case, years on end. And now they're trying to suppress certain stories because the narrative doesn't fit correctly. What's this video here?
A Ukrainian woman was murdered by a homeless man, but some media isn't reporting it, and it's a pattern of being silent when the killer is black and the victim is white, and loud when it's the opposite. On August 22nd, Irina Zarutska sat down on a bus in front of DeCarlos Brown. DeCarlos, for no apparent reason, stabbed her in the throat. This was cold-blooded murder. Irina was a white, blonde, Ukrainian refugee who fled the war. DeCarlos is a black, homeless, four-time felon who just left jail. I hate that I even need to mention their skin colors, but I do. Because if this had been a white man murdering a black woman, this would be non-stop national news. And yet, the New York Times hasn't reported on it. CNN hasn't reported on it. MSNBC hasn't reported on it. What do they all have in common? They're all on the left. This is clearly newsworthy. It touches multiple third rails: race, immigration, Ukraine war, homelessness, and crime. So why aren't they reporting on it? Because there's a race-based double standard in the media. Now, make no mistake, right-wing media like Fox News and New York Post are biased too. And here's the thing, the media is overwhelmingly left-leaning. 30 to 60% of journalists are on the left. 5 to 7% are on the right. So we're all getting a skewed version of reality. One in which white on black crime is worthy of marching, but black on white crime isn't worth mentioning. Both are equally wrong, but we've been conditioned to see race first and principle second, and it's swinging the pendulum from one irrational extreme to the other, from white people being elevated to white people being denigrated. Meanwhile, black-white race relations are worse than they were at the start of the century. But why should I, a black man, care? Because we all should. We're supposed to be ending racism, not flipping who gets to be racist. And if we don't correct this, many white people will become resentful, and they'll swing the pendulum back to black. We can't keep doing this. In the face of evil, we must let go of racial preferences and focus on principles. All decent people must say, I don't care what color they are. A person murdering another person in cold blood is evil. All humans must say, I don't care who started it. A boy stabbing another unarmed boy at a track meet is wrong. All mature adults must say, I don't care how mistreated you feel. A woman calling a child a racial slur is disgusting. In a race war to the bottom, no one wins. The division.
Yeah, I mean, he's speaking sense there. It has gone the other way. The pendulum seriously has sort of swung, where especially it's happened in the UK, guys. I know my audience is massively UK. It happens in our media as well. We see this time and time again. And oh my goodness me, she fled. 3 years ago, she fled the war in Ukraine to build a new life in the United States. She was fatally stabbed during a random attack. 23 years old. Disgusting. Really making me angry. And the fact that there's such a double standard from the media, I just can't get over it. And the George Floyd shit for fucking months. Literally. Matt Walsh calls the black man stabbing a white woman in Charlotte a greater outrage than the death of every BLM martyr combined times 1,000. He's right. So this is him. Career criminal stabs 23-year-old Ukrainian refugee in the throat and she bleeds to death on a This is his lucky day. He'll get a high-priced defense attorney paid for by some black non-profit that believes no black man is guilty. They'll find a judge appointed by Obama. They're going to turn that career criminal into a victim. Bookmark it. More to the point, this was happening on 22nd of August 2025. This incident occurred. So they kept this footage here. Brown, who served a 5 to 6 year sentence for armed robbery in 2014, was released in September 2020. In 2025, he was arrested for misuse of 911, claiming that an artificial substance was controlling his actions. A mental competency evaluation was ordered in July 2025. And following the Zarutska stabbing, Brown's attorney continued to request a competency evaluation to determine his fitness to stand trial. Brown is currently being held without bail and charged with first-degree murder. Sick. I mean, this is getting a lot of attention here, of course, on X, but nowhere else, really. The mayor of Charlotte blames the savage stabbing of an innocent woman on a mental health disease, which he said should be treated with compassion in the same way we treat cancer. Mental health has become an excuse for all human evil. This was always the intention. No, we will never arrest our way out of issues such as a homeless and mental health, Lyle said. Mental health disease is just that, a disease like any other that needs to be treated. Is that actually what she said? No, there's no way that she said that. No, she didn't say that. With regard to this incident, wow. I mean, that makes sense, right? Democrats love criminals. This man should never be on the streets again, period. I mean, you have faith in the American justice system to send this guy away for a very long time. Yet this is the mayor of Charlotte. No, not arrest, but mandatory staying in mental health facility is the only compassionate way forward. The mayor of Charlotte is just one example of many who are simply incapable of self-rule. Democracy should be suicide pact with either morons or demons. Wow. Rest in peace, Irina Zarutska. Fucking, this guy just ran. See, this is the point about Daniel Penny. I've seen this everywhere. The New York Times ran over 100 stories on Daniel Penny, but Irina Zarutska, the innocent young woman brutally stabbed to death in Charlotte by a black man, not a single story. This isn't just a double standard, it's outright injustice. This was everywhere. This image was absolutely everywhere, and of course he ended up getting acquitted, Daniel Penny, in the end. But there's a clear sort of double standard, which is absolutely brutal and disgusting.
People need to get angry about this sort of situation, and they need to start realizing this is happening, and they need to get more racist. Racism would save a lot of lives. If this girl was a little more racist, she might not have sat in front of a black guy with her back to a black guy. Girls may not date black guys if they realize when they go into the court system, it's nothing but white women bringing before the judge the brown and black perps who have battered them, abused them. They're trying to get restraining orders out against them. And those are the lucky ones, believe it or not. Those aren't the ones that were murdered by these people. So we need to get tough with ourselves and realize that this is an actual problem and not care if they call you racist, because I would rather be called racist than dead.
Wild, man. Wild. But yeah, you're seeing a lot of stuff sort of on X about it. But yeah, I'm interested to see who's seen this for the first time on this live stream, because I only seen it earlier. And that's because I'm on social, well, that's because I'm on X all of the time, of course, because I'm sort of running this channel and doing other things. So I'm kind of always on X to see things, but I still seen it quite a lot of time. It's absolutely mind-blowing that all the major news outlets didn't report on the Charlotte. Man, you know exactly what it would be like if it was the other way around in the US. There would be parades. George Floyd was a career criminal. Wow. I'm sure Elon must me. Wild. Yeah. See if I'm sure I sent something by Elon Musk earlier. Did he say anything? On this platform, the people decide the narrative. You'll hear all sides of the arguments. Community Notes corrects everyone, no exceptions. Notes data encoded as public source. Grok provides further fact checking. Let's see if Musk has spoke about it. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. What is the editorial reason by New York Times here? So showing, this is what I'm saying. So with regard to show, it's to Daniel Penny, of course, who choked out the black guy on the subway. 100 results, right? Irina Zarutska, 0. This is what we're playing with. And whilst this is happening in America, we see the clear double standard in the UK as well. And possibly Europe as well, where they're actually doing this. Well, they do it in the UK. We see it, but ours is not so much more with black and white. It's more so with regard to Islam and non-Islam. We see them get a different thing. We see their crimes get covered up. We see their stuff get suppressed by the media. Let's see what else is being said. X is the news. Yeah, so he's talking about that. So yeah, he's reposting a lot here. He's trying to get this out a lot. Of course he is. 221 million followers. What they don't show you in this video is Irina's blood-curdling, muffled screams and terrified. Helplessly eyes was being viciously stabbed in her neck by this effing monster. The judges and district attorneys who have allowed criminals to roam free are literally terrorists in robe and suits. There are no different than people who allow their aggressive pit bulls with a history of attacking humans to roam freely on our streets. They should be responsible for the monsters they unleash. It's the time for the new era of tough crime policies, no more cosplaying judges and DAs. We need a real thing. That's facts. In another universe, Irina would have stepped onto that train and made it safely to her stop, because the police and the courts would have actually done their job and kept that predator who killed her locked up where he belonged. Exactly. Disgusting. In DC, they apparently have arrested 1,700 people. It was the right 1,700. The city feels transformed practically overnight. Held hostage is exactly correct. Now, the thing is, troops, that Donald Trump has actually posted something on, I think it was Instagram, by the way. I'm not on Instagram on my laptop. But I think this is in retaliation to this, or I don't know, it might be the Venezuela thing, but he posted an image of Department of War. But it's time that the US, of course, Donald Trump's doing some many good things out with the United States, but there's still a long way to go internally, and they need to do, if this is correct about DC and cleaning up DC, they need to do it around all states. Can't help but notice every account with a Ukrainian flag in their handle hasn't said shit about this woman. True. That's just how it is. It's all flag waving. It doesn't fit their narrative. That's the whole point. What's this guy saying? Looking for black people in this video. This was back in Washington. That's that video we just watched. Yeah, so there you go. Remember, 0 stories. Covered it up. And of course, the Charlotte mayor actually came out and commended them for doing so, for protecting community tensions. Why wasn't that not the case with George Floyd? Why was that not the case with the Daniel Penny situation? Yeah. Right. Yeah, let's get into the live chat. Sorry, guys, I've been looking into that quite a lot. But listen, it's massively important that this story gets out there because it has been suppressed. And there is a clear double standard at hand here, which is huge. A massive, massive problem. And it's not just in the United States, guys. It's in our country too, and it's in Europe. Yes, we face a different sort of battle. Ours is more with, you know, as I was saying, with sort of Islamic community. But we do face the similar sorts of situation. Let's go through the live chat, troops. I want to take some reaction from this video. I just want to know, just as a show of hands, as I said, I'm not saying, I just want to see something quickly because honestly, I hadn't seen it. Was this, I'm going to put in, was this the first time you heard of this story? I just wanted to see if everyone actually seen it, just because of the sort of media blackout with regard to it. I know the people on X probably would have seen it straight away because it has been sort of circulated and we all probably follow the same accounts and whatnot, and everyone's good enough at getting that news out there. But I'm just interested to see how many people, or just a show of people, as to see if this was the first time you've seen them. No worries, no worries. So I'm seeing it kind of go up a little bit, but at the end of the day, I just want to say a big God bless. You know, God bless to Irina Savritska. Really, you know, it's so sad. It really is, and her story needs to be pushed out there more. People need to know that this individual just stabbed her cold-bloodedly at random, just for sitting in front of him. That's the reality. And again, America still has a long way to go. And I know I'm probably commenting from a further afield. I'm in the UK, we've got our own problems, but these problems do still coincide within our country and in Europe as well, in terms of the media and the outrage only to certain things. And actually, there is a clear double standard, and especially against white people in America. And of course, in the UK, we're seeing it with the native population. We're treated double standards, which is a huge, huge issue. She was a Ukrainian refugee. She absolutely was. She came there. You know, the thing is with the Ukrainian refugees, and I've said it time and time again here in about them, they're great people. You know, they've got similar cultures. They come from great traditions in terms of how they're brought up. Very good people. As I said, similar to sort of Russian, but always would be a pillar to a community. You know, they don't come over in rafts. They go the legal route. And actually, if you want to talk about using an asylum system and using people that are actually facing real world terror, then of course it could be sort of Ukrainian people escaping a war-torn country. But these people, you know, they still do it legally. They don't come over in rafts. And you know what? I would take all of the Ukrainian refugees over some of the third world shit pits that we're currently getting invading our country, because their traditions, their values align with us, and they're not there to try and reinvent the wheel in our country or in America. She would have been a pillar. You could see her. She was coming back from her work. She was in her pizza uniform. She was doing a job. She was working. 23, you know? And she would have been a law-abiding citizen within the United States. So grateful for the chance that the US gave her and trying to give back, for only the court to fail her by having a career criminal stab her in the throat at random. And that's it. You know, that's what I would say about Ukrainian refugees. I would take them into the United Kingdom all of the time over the third world invaders that we've currently getting on a day-to-day basis. 1,049 crossed over yesterday, and I bet you none of them were Ukrainian. So yeah, they come from great backgrounds, and they would have been a pillar to the community. But yeah, it's been in my mind all day, this one. It's been good to kind of talk about it a little bit. Not good, but yeah, it's important to get this story out there. It really is. But guys, do let me know your thoughts on this. Just to end off here, we've got the poll. I asked, was this the first time you heard of this story? 73% of you said yes, 27% of you said no. So it just goes to show how much this story is being suppressed amongst the mainstream media. And it's important to share this, guys. I'm not doing it for my benefit or my views. I don't care for that. I'm doing it for Irina Zarutska. And she deserves to have the outrage, the same outrage, if not more outrage, because she was completely innocent as George Floyd got. Where is the protests? Where is the parades? We should want to see them in the United States. And now I don't want to get involved in the United States, but that's what the US people should be doing, peacefully protesting and going out there, because that is disgusting and absolutely uncalled for, and probably one of the most horrific things I've ever seen. And it's something that's scarred in my mind now for the rest of time. But guys, thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you.